Let's fight, guys. Let's fight. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Had a bit of false start there, some silence. Good to have each and every one of you joining us. It's 8 o'clock, folks, and if it's 8 o'clock, you know we are in the ring. It's not going to happen any other way. Good to have each and every one of you. Just making a systems check at our end, getting some slight challenges, but we're gonna work through them nonetheless. Good to see all of you guys joining us, wherever you're joining us from. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Welcome in the ring, guys. You know, as you come on, you have to share the live stream. A few guests dropping by this evening, quite a bit of information to get through with you guys. And we invite you again to share the live stream. Wherever you're joining us from, at home here in Guyana, whether you're in the diaspora, you're in the Caribbean, you're in North America, you're in Europe, wherever you're joining us from this evening, again, we are always privileged to have each and every one of you joining us. And so we are going to make sure that we are set at our end to go. And as soon as we have that that go ahead, we're going to be good to go, folks. But in the meantime, we're watching to that magic number and inviting you guys, wherever you're joining us from, to share their live stream. Privileged to have each and every one of you, whether that is Gloria Fraser or is it Narayan Sigobin, Luperti Ken, Diane Mitchell Henry, Cheryl Ann Haywood, Angeli Abrams and Brendan Norton, Gladys Roberts and Marcus Blue, John Raymond, Rennie Mackenzie Talbot, Lily Govaya watching from Maryland, USA, and Andrew Cuthbert, one of our regulars, Claire Alexis, Chamalady Richmond, Rudy Hines. Good to see all of you guys. Roxanne. Good to see you as well. Desiree Smart, Veronica Primo. Guys, good to have all of you. And we are going to ensure that we are set at our end. We got one connection issue, and as soon as we have that sorted out, we are going to be good to go. We are going to be good to go, peoples, as soon as we have that sorted out. We don't want not to give you the information that we want to give you, but if we have a workaround, we are going to work around that, folks, and we are going to be good to go. We have a minor setback. And watching to our magic number, guys, share the live stream as you come on. You know, that's the biggest favor. One of the biggest favors you can do for us. Guys, we're going to be in the diaspora this evening, and we're going to have confusion powder. We're going to have that nurse, Patricia Cummings, who was so fortunate to have given the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, that vaccine there, her first dose of whichever vaccine Vice President Harris will have taken. We're privileged to have that very special nurse with us this evening. And guys, as you come on, again, we encourage all of you to share the live stream. And I'm going to do that as well at my end, ensuring that we are shared and all well and good. Thank you. Is it Amber Torn and Marilyn Thomas? All the folks joining us, Gail Alcock, Gavin Holder, Troy Daniels, Donna Liverpool. Good to see you. Good to see you. Alia Waldron present. Yonette Fortune, Troy Daniels, all these folks. The register is being taken, folks. The register is being taken. The register is being taken. So great to have all of you. And as you come on, guys, do us that favor and share that live stream. We are happy to have each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. We are more than happy to have this evening. And we are going to go through our hot topics as soon as we are comfortable that you have shared the live stream, guys. y'all know this thing is going to cost y'all something. No freeness. Don't worry with freeness, folks. It's going to cost us something to be in the ring. And the cost of admission, we always say, is for you guys to share the live stream. Again, we are always privileged to have so many of you joining us, guys. So many of you joining us. We're very, very heartened by that, right? But we don't run on water. We run on shares. And so we're looking forward to each and every one of you. Patricia Asanan, Munishwar Narain, and Sudin Sugdio, Good to see all of you guys. Stacy Soul, share the live stream. Brenda Casey, do us that big favor and share the live stream wherever you guys are picking us up from, on whether you're going to come back later on and watch the live stream. We invite you guys to share it. You might be on a group somewhere, you might be on a page somewhere. Those folks who are picking us up on the Christopher Jones page, share the live stream there as well. Those folks who are picking us up, for instance, on the AppNew AFC page, give us a share there. I don't want Christopher Jones page to beat AppNew AFC page and sharing this live stream, folks. Right? I'm competitive. I want you all know that. And so we want to encourage you guys. And I don't want Christopher Jones or AppNew page to share this live stream more than our fans and supporters and our viewers on the Sherrod Duncan, the Sherrod Avery Duncan page, or on my profile, whether you're viewing it on my profile as well, guys. And those of you who are joining us on YouTube, welcome, like Roxanne Mayers. Good to see you there. Those folks who are joining us on Twitter, good to have each and every one of you in the house with us this evening. And of course, Facebook, the ghetto. Good to have you guys as well. Is it Jennifer? Let me see. Joining us from the suburbs, Jennifer Cox, joining us from Roxanne Burnham Gardens. And we know, some folks have been telling us they've been getting some challenges getting to Facebook, and some of you bad, some of you born bad. And every 2 mornings, y'all in Facebook jail. You can also join us on YouTube. Just search for Sherrod Duncan on YouTube. That page pops up, and you are live and direct with all of our content. All of our content. So again, guys, so great to have you, Jennifer Cox and Roxanne Mayers. I can see you guys joining us from YouTube. Great to have you, Marcia Griffith, Brenda Casey, Denise Booker joining us from the Ghetto Facebook. Good to have all of you guys as well. So many folks joining us across the diaspora. Margaret Duncan Andrews, my family there, Juvika Mohan. Good to see you there, even though your mouth a little filthy this evening. Good to see you, Juvika. Welcome in the ring. We want you guys to. And Juvika, why don't you do us a favor and tag some of your friends to come and tell us a couple bad words. You got to fight, Juvika, when you're in the ring. Coretta Millington and Samantha Jilks and all you other folks. Good to see you. Good to see you, Coretta. Good to see you, Sean Winner. Good to see you, Paul. Is it Danjo? Good to see you. All the other folks. I see a Junior joining us from from YouTube. Whoever Junior is, Mavis Henry. My Lord, this register long, folks. 10 minutes of calling names, and we still going. All now, Kim King and Siobhan Fraser, Audrey Ward, Orwell Don Cook, Raul Brando Ramatar, Raul Brando Ramatar. Good to have all of you guys. Rochelle De Costa. Somebody I saw. I see Atala Wade, my wife. Atala Wade Duncan. She in the suburbs too. She on YouTube. Good to see all of you guys. Good to see you, honey. There with my son watching me on YouTube. You see, they don't have this hour on my attention. So they have my attention now on YouTube. Thanks for the support there. Kim Walker, Cheryl Walker. Guys, we spent the whole hour just calling me. Everybody present in the ring. Good to have you guys. And let me see if we are ready to go. At my end, it's confusion powder. Somebody trying something with us this evening. But we ain't taking it so. We are not taking it so. Somebody trying with us this evening. Let me see if let me see if we can connect our multimedia another way. They're trying with us, folks, but they ain't gonna get through. They ain't gonna get through. They're trying with me, but they won't get through. Because we ain't going down easy. We are not going down that easy. That's what we can promise you. Right? We ain't going down so easy. So good to have each and every one of you with us, guys. Let me make sure that we are good to go. All systems are a go. Are they? Are they, folks? I think so. Are you guys ready? We're going to get through the hot topics this evening, one way or the other. Let me make sure I have my notes at hand. And guys, welcome again, wherever you're joining us from, whichever part of the diaspora you are joining us from this evening. We are privileged to have all of you here with us. We are really and truly privileged to have each and every one of you, wherever in the diaspora you're joining us from. Stephen Jarvis and Carl Johnson and David Wood, Onessa Ward, the Dean, and all the other folks joining us. Carl Johnson, I see you there on YouTube. We don't often get a chance to shout out our folks there on YouTube. So great to see each and every one of you. Good to see each and every one of you guys. And let's get through our hot topics. Let's start on the international front, perhaps, what has been happening there. And as we get through that, we are going to come closer to home, guys. And as you know, every damn day, every day it's pocketory. Every day in this country is pocketory. Right? Every day, pocketory. And today was no different. Today was no different because back in the today was no different. Back in the highlight or the headlines rather, sorry. Back in the headlines is this whole issue of the Sputnik V COVID-19. Sputnik V COVID-19. And you know from heart what we had to deal with the Al Maktoum, Mr. Al Maktoum, right? You remember this gentleman from the Middle East that they would have bought these vaccines from. And we are still owed lots and lots of vaccines from this Al Maktoum fellow. Well, a publication from Russia, the Moscow Times, did a report and has highlighted some of the issues concerning Guyana. And for instance, the objections and the concerns that were raised by the opposition. Good. As a matter of fact, the Moscow Times told us some very important things, that Al Maktoum has never had any experience selling drugs. Well, at least not this legal kind of drugs. These vaccines, according to this Moscow Times publication, Al Maktoum's business is in the Middle East, and it concerns infrastructure, energy, and agricultural projects. Infrastructure, energy, and agricultural projects. This is the area that concerns his business. But of course, you got COVID and now you get a shot. And the Russian company has given Al Maktoum permission to sell Sputnik V. The problem with that is, while Russia is selling to EU for $9 for a shot of Sputnik V and $19 for the combined 2 doses, they're selling us in Guyana for $24. $24. $24 for the dose. $24. And as a matter of fact, of all of the countries that Al Maktoum, Sheikh Ahmed Dalmood Al Maktoum, of all the countries they are selling these vaccines to, Guyana is paying the highest. Guyana is paying the highest. This is according to this Moscow Times report that came out quite recently on the 10th day of July, a couple of days ago. And this is the challenge we're dealing with, because there is so much secrecy involving this issue. So much secrecy, folks. So much secrecy. And as you guys come on this evening, we invite you guys to share the live stream wherever you're joining us from. Hazel, George, and Kim Walker, Nicole Brandis, Higgins, all of you folks. And you know, the last time, for instance, the government said anything about the COVID, the Sputnik V, they told us that they are now bypassing Al Maktoum because he has been slow in delivering, and they're going directly now to the manufacturer. Directly to the manufacturer. And they also said to the Guyanese public, they did not know when these vaccines were going to arrive. That they pay the highest of all the countries purchasing vaccines. They don't know when the vaccines are going to arrive. And folks, lots of you home here in Guyana and the diaspora knows the name UC Guyana. Well, UC Guyana wrote a stinging letter to the editor recently, in the daily newspapers, in which he said that the government lied when they said that Al Maktoum was only interested in investments locally, right? And that there was a desire on the part of the government to deceive the Guyanese people. These are the words of UC Guyana quite recently. Their desire to deceive. And folks, as we get more information on this issue, we are going to keep you guys up to date. We are following, they say follow the money. And it's interesting to see now the Moscow Times picking up on this investigation of Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum. Very, very interesting to see some of what is happening here. Moving along, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on this issue for you. Of course, you know, we got to deal with the crosses. We got to deal with the crosses, the PPP crosses. Right? We got to deal with them. The Kavakamites, the Nakavakamites, the trench crapos, the trenchies, the Jagabats. We got to deal with them. Priya. Priya. Jagabat in chief. Priya. Now, Priya said recently that the GTU behaving like a political entity. Priya. The GTU is behaving like a political entity. Yeah? Y'all notice I chose the best picture for Priya. I want to be like them. I want to be like this Jagabat Priya. Is that do for do? Priya said the union behaving like a political entity. Now, when you see these words, you might rush past them, folks. But when you slow down and you internalize and you understand what the Minister of Education of the Cooperative Oil Producing Republic is saying, you realize you got to bring our education in focus. She said they're behaving like a political entity, the Guyana Teachers Union, because they went out yesterday and protested. Now, folks, listen to what is the definition of politics. And anybody can find this. You know when they say when you're in doubt, Google. Politics is defined as activities associated with the governance of a country or area, especially the debate between parties having power. But it doesn't stop there. They go on to say that politics, the definition, politics, these are activities aimed at improving someone's status or increasing power within an organization. Improving someone's status. Activities aimed at improving someone's status or increasing power within an organization. So I can see the Guyana Teachers Union operating like this, improving the status of the teachers in the public school systems. So when Priya says that the union's behaving like a political entity, political is the adjective for the non-politics. And that speaks to relating to government or public affairs of a country. So of course, the union got to behave political, because at the heart of politics is influence, influencing the conditions, improving the condition for the workers. So when splashed across the Guyana Chronicle, we see Priya's quote, unions behaving like a political entity, that is in their nature to influence. Moving along, folks. Preposition, Priya. Preposition, Priya. Well, you all know Melly Mel. Melly Mel is the president of an organization called, I think is it GANU or NANU, and primarily deals with domestic violence and empowering women, those kinds of issues. Well, Melly Mel wasn't having it today. As a matter of fact, Melly Mel encouraged the teachers to come out and strike, come out and support the strike action. And I'm going to tell you why. I am going to tell you why Melly Mel did that. And I agree with what she said. Now, Melly Mel said a couple of things. And guys, as you come on, share the live stream for us. Here's what Melly Mel said. I remember encouraging teachers to strike back in 2018 when the APNU AFC was in government. Yep. And I encouraged them to do so again. Teachers and nurses are the most underpaid and overworked public servants. And she's damn right. She goes on to say on social media, we have teachers that more qualified than some of our current ministers and even past ministers, if we want to be fair. Now imagine a qualified teacher. As a qualified teacher, you are getting paid next to nothing. And these ministers that you're way more qualified than, living a life of luxury with a shitload of benefits that they're taxing you the teacher salary every month to pay for. Melly Mel goes on, if the Guyana Teacher Union wants to act like a political entity, the government will treat them that way. She's quoting Priya now. This comment coming from a Minister of Education, someone who's supposed to have the nation's educators' interests at heart, is utter ignorance. Is utter ignorance. She goes on, if it was all good for the union and these teachers to strike in 2018, when y'all was in opposition, but in 2021, it's political because y'all in power, it's nonsense. She says it is utter ignorance. Utter ignorance, folks. And I agree with her. And I am certain all of you right-thinking people, I know it's not plenty people on the string. I know it's not the Jagabats. I know it's not the Crosses. I know it's not the Hippocytes and the Jebusites and the Trench Crappos. But the rest of you, you will agree with her, it is utter madness. It is utter madness. Folks, moving along. It gets better. Region 9 REO arrested. Region 9 REO arrested for attempted murder of a woman. What is happening in this country, folks? It's purgatory. It is purgatory. What is happening with all of these trigger and gun happy officials? Charles, he on an outreach, he gun tuck in the back. Susan Rodriguez on an outreach, aiming a gun someplace. What is the matter with these folks? Now he is charged with attempted murder. And I want to ensure that I have the facts of this story. And this is according to the police. This is according to the police. It's not we say. This is according to the police. The police says that on the 20th, the victim of this gunshot wound to her abdomen is Gladys Emmanuel. And it took place in the commercial zone, Lethem Central. The suspect is 33 years old. And I'll give you his name just now. According to the police, the facts, investigations disclosed that the victim was in the company of the said suspect in his motor pickup when she was allegedly shot to the region of her abdomen. She was taken to the Lethem Regional Hospital by the suspect, where an immediate surgery was performed, and her condition is now regarded as stable. Police have been unable to interview the victim due to her condition. The suspect was arrested and escorted to the Lethem police station, and his licensed firearm seized and lodged. You know what pissed me off about this story? Fraudulent installed PPP. Now, they could mention the victim's name, Gladys Emmanuel, but they are protecting the man that shot Gladys to her abdomen. No mention was made in the report by the police of the victim's name. But we know the Jagabat. We know the Jagabat. Right? We know the jackbat, and his name is Carl Singh. Now, some additional information that we have about the Region 9 REO Carl Singh indicates that when this incident took place, number one, it was during curfew hours. So they should not have been out. It was during curfew hours. It is alleged as well that the incident occurred at an establishment situated on the main thoroughfare of the township of Lethem. The establishment is owned by one John Macedo, a very senior leader in the PPP, and he's the current mayor of Lethem. All this gunplay, you know. We are reliably informed as well, and it is alleged that some persons said to be present at the time of the incident are all active supporters of the PPP group and administration in the township of Lethem and Region 9 widely. We also receive information that suggests that the persons present at the time were also part of the regional COVID task force. Y'all hearing shit here? They are part of the regional task force. Carl Singh, the Region 9 REO, he is known publicly. This Jagabat is known publicly to display his firearm when he becomes intoxicated in whichever location he is. And we are being told, we are reliably informed that this is on a regular basis. That this is Carl Singh's modus operandi, the PPP. The modus operandi. We are also reliably informed, ladies and gentlemen, reliably informed. It is alleged that Carl Singh is known to pursue young ladies, especially if they seek his assistance through the office he currently holds. I want to hear Gladys' side of the story, Gladys Emmanuel, who this Jagabat, this demon, this cross shot in her abdomen. Shot in her abdomen. You remember Kwame, who assaulted the parliamentarian Tabitha Saraba Harley in the National Assembly? We watch with bated breath to see what comes out of this. Because remember, Darimple and Chargette, you know, the woman that bite the policeman who affiliated in the high ranks of the PPP, Darimple and Chargette. So we are looking to see what transpires here with Carl Singh. And we got a fair estimation where it will go. You know why? Because the stink and dirty. That is the PPP. So we're going to keep you guys posted on this. And if you think that wasn't confusion powder, if you guys think that wasn't confusion powder, but I told you a bit about this. And Amanza is going to join us a little later on about Edghill. Right? And why she says Edghill must stay out of people business. Because he now gone tick in the civil aviation business, even though he does not have any direct remit to direct the civil aviation. So we're going to keep you guys posted where that is concerned. The Bishop. And Amanza is going to be joining us in a little bit on that matter. People's protest. The people are protesting. And today, the MPs were out there at the Square of the Revolution, along with other concerned citizens, making our voices heard on education, on salaries for public servants, on the crime situation, on the COVID situation, right? on the high cost of living, right? On the high cost of living, folks. Things tight in this country. Things are tight in this country, ladies and gentlemen, and we encourage you all, as you come on, wherever you are joining us from, to share this live stream. To share this live stream. That is how we're going to get a message out. Because they want to pretend to their international partners that all is well and good. But all is not well and good. Things tight. And so today, and every Wednesday from 12 to 1, we are going to be out there at the Square of the Revolution, making our voices heard as citizens. Lots of you are asking, when y'all coming out? when you're putting boots on the ground. Folks, we have started with every Wednesday. And we are asking you guys to come out as well and make your voices heard on the confusion powder all over this country. Soon as they come in, they went to Suriname to work the over. And now the thing backfiring, and it's confusion powder. It backfiring. Signs of the times. Signs of the times, ladies and gentlemen. Checking my notes. Signs of the times. I tell y'all things tight. Man chops teen allegedly found in his duck pen. Folks, things tight. Things are tight. When we say things tight, we are making joke. Things tight. And so that is the headline. Man chops. He and push, he chop. Things tight. Folks, y'all better share this live stream. He chops teen allegedly found stealing in his duck pen. Let me give you all the tech-ups. Things tight. Let me give you all the tech-ups. Now, it is said, according to the report, that an 18-year-old is currently nursing a chop wound at the New Amsterdam hospital following an incident at 67 Village, Quarantine Berbice. The police said the teen, Chetram Gopal, called Pops, the teen, Chetram Gopal called Pops, was reportedly attacked in the wee hours of Wednesday by a 52-year-old man who has since turned himself over to police. Things tight. And I ain't only talking about Indar Pants, installed Minister Indar. We don't talk about Indar Pants, but things tight. So in the wee hours of Wednesday morning, the 52-year-old man advanced to Chetram Gopal. The statement noted that the 52-year-old went to Springlands police station and reported that Gopal was caught in his duck pen with 5 of his ducklings in a salt sack, in a salt bag. Folks, y'all know how much is beef? Huh? Happy Eid al-Fitr. How many y'all eat beef today? Y'all know how much a pound of beef? Things tight. It is said that the man, the 52-year-old, armed himself with a cutlass after he noticed the teenager had a knife in his hands. The suspect for the claim that Pops charged, the teenager charged towards him with a knife, and so he chopped him several times. Gopal was escorted to the Skeldon Public Hospital, where he was treated and later transferred to the New Arms Public Hospital. The man thieving duck because things tight. Sugar gone up, rice gone up, oil gone up, flour gone up, salt, chana, dal, black eye, milk, shallot, bora, bhaji, things tight. Beef, chicken, egg, pork, salt, fish, sardine, shrimp, corned beef, cheese. Yeah, I think it's only Minister Indar Pants like things tight. Aloo, cassava, edo, plantain, yam, sweet potato, onion, garlic, pine, orange. Rent tight, gas tight, diesel tight, carrot tight, the economy tight, diapers tight, butter tight, air fan shot tight, bus tight, taxi fare tight, water tight, tennis road, bread, you name it. Things are tight in this country. As a matter of fact, people have been forecasting. They said in September, a child can go to school with no pencil. And then the teacher will ask, what your mother do with the cash grant of 19,000? Make you get a pencil. And the child will respond, she buy 2 bundles of bore and a pound of shallot. Poof, money gone. Things tight. Air fan shut tight, in their pants tight, the economy tight, things tight, people. So 19,000 now, only buying 2 bundles of bore and a pound of shallot. We understand what is happening in this country. Y'all understand? Well, Rasta like me, we don't understand. We overstand. Things tight, the man thief in dock. But what I want to advise is that the DPP must drop these charges. If the man is hungry, I can forgive him. I'm sorry he didn't come and ask me for a small piece. I can forgive him. Because they got people who do much worse and had their charges dropped. Things are tight. I don't know if Chetram Gopal had a pink slip or he had no slip at all. I don't know if Chetram get COVID relief, but Chetram is in a foul pen. I am not saying, I'm not condoning that, but I'm saying if he was after food, I want to help a man like that. Irfan Ali had his charges dropped. He is reported to have defrauded the state over $170 million. He had charges dropped. The Chatri, it's Chat 4, the Chatri was accused of stealing law books to the value of millions of dollars. His charges were dropped. Why Chetram Gopal is different? Ashley Singh was charged for defrauding the government underselling land with Brassington, Winston Brassington. Their charges were dropped. In this country, all are created equal, but some more equal than others. These are more equal than Chetram Gopal. Claudette Singh, who swing? Claudette had private criminal charges brought against her, never saw a court for a day. Charges dropped. So what happened with Chetram? Hunger bracing some people. Things tight. They had their charges dropped. DPP, somebody tag the DPP. Help out Chetram. Things tight. Finally, folks, in some very sad news, again, the carnage on our roads continue. This young woman, Neshana Singh, is gone too soon, lost her life on the Maikoni-Denzek public road over the last 24 hours. We made to understand that she's an employee or was a former employee of Guy Oil on Regent Street, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her family. And just like we did over the weekend when we had that gruesome accident at DSL at Diamond, and that other accident involving the Ministry of Finance official, Terichan Balgabin, the project's manager there, doing some U-turn on the West Berbice public road and hit a motorcyclist upside down. A young teacher lost his life. In almost similar fashion, Neshana Singh lost her life as well, quite recently. And we want to say our thoughts and prayers go out with her and her family. Folks, slow down on the road. Take every precaution necessary on the roadways, folks. Take every necessary precaution. On the COVID front, another death, scores of COVID infection confirmed cases. And we should be talking with Nurse Patricia Cummings on some COVID issues. But, ladies and gentlemen, who I have in the studio with me tonight is none other than a fighter, Amanza Walton-Desir. And folks, without any further ado, I want to invite my colleague, Amanza. A very good evening. Welcome in the ring.
Sharon, how you doing?
We out and we bad.
Yeah.
We out and we bad, Manza.
Good night to you and your audience.
Good night to you as well. And I know you had a packed day. Let's pick up from what transpired today at the Square of the Revolution there. I know you were part of that protest as well, and talk to us a little bit about some of the issues that we're raising there in the public domain, in that public space at the Square of the Revolution.
Well, yeah, Sharon, as we had said, we would be out there every Wednesday between 12 and 1, and we will continue to highlight and bring attention to this installed regime and their unacceptable conduct Um, we touched on a range of issues today, and I was quite moved that there were people who came out. You had a busload of folks from over the river, etc. They were there and supporting, and I'm heartened to see that Guyanese are willing to indicate to this PPPC regime that they're not afraid of standing up and speaking up for their rights. You had the installed Minister of Education making a most unfortunate statement about the union. And, she clearly does not appreciate the nature of a union, and it shows in her utterances. Um, we are continually concerned that the union, the GPSU, etc., they're not speaking up as loudly as they should
Mm-hmm.
for the rights of their workers. Two budgets, a large supplementary budget, and up to now, public servants cannot be um, given an increase in salaries. It almost reminds me of the fact that when the PPPC was in opposition, where they will be once again very soon. Um, the installed vice president threatened that if you accepted the increase, you'd have to pay them back. It is almost as if they are wreaking their vengeance now on the public servants, and it is quite unfortunate because you have a rising cost of living. Look at the gas prices, and the government appears to be unwilling to do anything to assist,
Yeah.
working Guyanese men and women to meet this cost of living. And then you hear the most stupid excuses: oh, things have gone up everywhere in the world. But in other parts of the world, government have taken positive steps to make sure that their people are able to weather the storm. It appears as though, however, this cabal seems to just be exacting revenge on the people of Guyana for the good life that they enjoyed under the AP and UAFC for the last 5 years prior to August 2nd, 2020.
Mansa, on that note, on the GPSU note, hold on for me. On the GPSU note, Amanza, Christopher Ram writing to the media quite recently on this announcement by DDL concerning a 6% raise, came back to the public sector and said, with current inflation, 6% is pointless. But he singled out GPU and talked about its lack of leadership and the fact that it seems to be very uncaring towards its workers. I've been trying to find that in my notes to quote specifically. But what are your thoughts? It seemed to be mirroring exactly what you were saying concerning the GPSU. And I don't want to have to do, but if we have to, we will fight Patrick Yard.
I think it's time that Patrick Yard goes. He has been there for far too long. I think he has been there for far too long. And it is time that he allows the organization to be handed over to a more vibrant young set of people. I have no bones about saying that. I have nothing against the man, but clearly, he is content to collect their dues, the union dues, and to sit there and to allow public servants to be mistreated. And that is ridiculous. That is
Yeah.
ridiculous. The union is the legal representative of their workers, and they have a direct duty to protect the interests of their workers at all times.
And
So if
Amanza, let's
Patrick
talk.
Yard can't carry if Patrick Yard cannot competently represent his people, he must go.
And let us also talk who else must go. The Fisher Bishop, one Edghill. Now, I see one Edghill has stepped up and out of place in relation to the let me get the name of the organization, the Aircraft Owners Association, and by extension, the Civil Aviation Authority. And you, I know, man, so you're ready to fight him because the association, the Aircraft Owners Association, basically said that Edghill fast. This issue concerning these two aircrafts that had the mishap in Itteringban and the other place, Cameron, recently, they said there's a procedure to deal with it. He has skipped all of that, and he has now called for the suspension of these entities. And you being the learned person you are, and the former general counsel at the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, you have called him out on this. And for instance, you have said that according to Section 15 of the Act which deals with civil aviation, it is the Director General who shall independently and shall not be subject to any influence or directive from any person or authority conduct the business of the authority, and not one Edghill or his ills at all.
Right.
Expand on that for us.
Yeah, well, look, it's pretty straightforward. Air transport is a very essential mode of travel, and it is a highly regulated industry. And basically, the requirement is that it should operate in the interest of safety and not in the interest of political expediency. And so, one of the requirements is that you have an independent, fully financed, fully functioning civil aviation authority. And it is in that context that the that section was drafted, and there are a lot of other sections that seek to preserve the remit of the civil aviation from political interference. And so, when it comes to the technical functions, i.e., those functions related to safety of operations, the safety of operation of aircraft, the competence of personnel, etc. There is a procedure, and there are certain factors that must be taken into consideration, and the person to do that through the system that is set out in the act and the regulations is the Director General. And so the point is that whatever conclusions are reached ought to be reached on technical and safety concerns and not political expedience.
Mhm.
And so, I am disappointed, but not surprised, because the installed minister, when he was in opposition, sat on the select committee. And that select committee, um, I had to put every section of the act and write a justification for them as to why it should be there. So I know that act like the back of my hand. And I'm sure he's in possession of that document. And I'm sure when it comes to Section 15, it says what it says. And this is why it is in the law. So for him to turn around and to say he ordered the suspension is what our colleague Emerald says is just a manifestation of their control freakism,
Mhm.
and the fact that they are content to flout the laws. But more importantly, and a more sobering is fact for me, is that the National Civil Aviation Organization, they monitor these things. And so we would have put in considerable work over the previous 5 years before the PPPC were installed, in terms of bringing our level of compliance with ICAO standards up to an international standard, to the point where we were awarded an ICAO certificate. And so there's a lot of gerrymandering going on with the civil aviation system, and I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it, because we worked hard to bring it up to international standards, and we will not allow control freakism, and we
Yep.
will not allow people who have no regard for the law and for rules to erode the progress that we would have made. We have come a far way. What has to be done now is for them to build on that, and to be able to promote the growth of international air transport to Guyana, and the growth of the local industry.
Yeah, and I think, Manzi, you put it best. You talked about how they don't seem to have an appreciation for the law and what the law says. We see him stepping in here. The Aircraft Users Association the Aircraft Owners Association said that they were shocked. They were shocked by the minister's intervention, unilateral intervention, even when the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority was on leave. They were shocked. But we have seen this in how they approach, for instance, the Police Service Commission, how they approach SOCU, how they approach so many entities in this high-handed nature, not having appreciation for what the law is. They don't like reading, and I have observed that with my parliamentary colleagues. They don't like reading, and perhaps that is why they always tend to think they can instruct. I have instructed, you hear Charles Ramson, the young, ignorant fool, say it ever so often, I've instructed. They like to use this term without an appreciation for the law. And that is why 3 of their MPs were deemed by the High Court to be sitting illegally in the National Assembly because they don't like to.
Sherrod, me and you have to fight because I don't agree with you. I think they know the law. They just don't care.
That
They
is good.
are aware,
Yeah.
but the PPPC, and I think it's important that we understand, they believe that they can act with impunity because they believe that the Guyanese people will sit down and take it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so they believe that they can operate anyhow. But I think we are coming on a time when the Guyanese and show them it don't go so because we are rapidly becoming a international embarrassment. We have returned to being international mendicants. And you know, there's just an all-round erosion of national pride. These people don't care. They do not care. You don't think the Chatri just read these things backward and forward?
I
He
think it's
does.
a
He
hole and
knows,
something
but he
slipping.
don't care. He does not care. He's the unruly horse. He in business. And so
So
they believe that they can
they have
literally
gone,
trample on the rights of Guyanese.
they have gone counter to because we care, but they really don't care. And that is why perhaps you're right. That is why we saw the scenes at Bath Primary School. Hundreds, if not thousands of persons going out there in a COVID environment. But 2 people trying to assemble to protest. They have a problem with that, the Jagabats.
Sherrod, and it just shows the lack of vision. And it just shows that the PPP believes that they can get away with insulting the intelligence of the Guyanese people. Sherrod, this is not rocket science. You are distributing these things to schools. Oh, walk it in the alphabetical order now.
Mhm.
Publish a notice. We're going to be here on XYZ day for Bath Secondary School, whichever primary school. Monday, we can use either Form 1 and 2, or we're going to do Form 1 today, Form 2 tomorrow, and you stagger it so that parents know when they have to come. And there is not a swarming. You understand? You cannot be talking about reducing the COVID numbers and you are engaging in activities that will encourage the spread of the virus. It is irresponsible. And when you speak like this, Sharon, you hear, oh, you're against the grant, because that is as much as they can mentally muster
Mhm.
to come up with. That's as much as they can retort, instead of seeing and understanding that there's a bigger picture and that you have to preserve the health of your people. And I'm glad you raised the issue of the Sputnik vaccines tonight, Sharon, because when we raised it, they were giving us hell.
Yeah.
And now you see all over the world, wherever this Sputnik vaccine deal was struck, health ministers are doing the honorable thing and stepping down. But install Frank and his 3 minions that he has at the ministry there are not going to do the honorable thing and step down. You understand?
Because they're crosses. Reservation. And I'm happy that you brought in, because I want to shed some light on that, on the cash grant, the education cash grant, because there was some pushback from Ralph Ramkaran based on something Aubrey Norton said recently on the cash grant. You know, it's quite strange how Timothy Jonas and Ralph Ramkaran operate, because they have a member of their joiner party in parliament who goes and votes with the government, but they seem to have views that are contrary to the government that aren't being expressed in the National Assembly in any policy directive way. So it's confusing to me. But here is what Aubrey Norton said on the cash grant quite recently, Amanza. And I want you to pick up on that and expand on it where necessary.
The cash grant is inadequate, that unfortunately it is not aimed at giving our children access to education, that there is need for a comprehensive program of incentives to increase the earning capacity of our people, as I warned that the PPP's aim is to dominate and control the electorate.
And he went on to say that is a hotbed for corruption. They promised audit of the cash grant. We're still waiting.
And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. In the first place, let us remember that when they were campaigning, they promised $50,000 per child.
Correct.
All right?
And
50,000
40,000
and not
old age pension.
19,000. So
Correct.
that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you recall the manner in which the COVID grant was distributed, you realize that there was inequitable distribution of the
cash grant is inadequate.
Great ahead. Sorry about that.
right. So with the inequitable distribution of the COVID-19 relief, how is it unreasonable for you to call to make sure that there are systems in place that so that every child benefits? And again, you remember when the AP and UFC was in government and they were talking about direct transfers,
Oh, yes.
and that came out against it and said we would develop a nation of dependencies and so on and so forth. But you saw the pictures at Bath where they're quite happy to jeopardize the health of people. Who is creating dependencies? So it is just sickening to me that the people of Guyana will continue. I do not believe that we can continue to put up with people who speak from, different sides of the mouth, depending on where they are. The Guyanese people
Amanza,
deserve
they are
better, Sherrod. Hypocrites.
correct. Correct, Amanza.
Right? No, it is unfortunate, and seriously now, it is time for the Guyanese people to start standing up and demanding what is right. It is nauseating to me when you go on social media and people are making constructive comments. You see levels of idiocy displayed in the comment section about SOPs and all kind of foolishness that all they're aiming to do is to detract from the seriousness of what we are discussing. And you cannot build a nation like that. It will implode. You are heading for a failed state if you continue in this manner. And I will say to our people, remember these days. Remember the days when shallot was $2,000 a bundle in the market and you couldn't afford it. And the government did not step in to do anything, because you know what they will do? When it comes closer to election time, they're going to start doling it out. But I want our people to remember that when they needed it the most, the government did not come through for them. Let us don't have short memories.
And Amanza, we have about, for instance, the 10 billion the National Assembly, you, me, and our colleagues, along with the Jagabats, approved for farmers that haven't gotten to farmers as yet. What are these guys doing at the helm of state? If they
are clearly fattening their own pockets and the pockets of their cronies. A farmer hung himself on the quarantine because he can't pay bills, buddy. He can't pay bills, so he hung himself. And we voted $10 billion in the National Assembly, and it can't reach the year. He has hung himself.
Money for public servants as well.
We voted public. Remember, what was it? Line item what? 6141? 6141. Oh, yeah, I'll get in. Where is it up to now? Where is it up to now? The government can take steps immediately that will see Guyanese having more disposable income to weather this storm. You understand? But the fact remains that they are unwilling. They don't care about the working class. They are not the party of the working class. And people will remember that for every year under the David Granger-led administration, public servants got an increase. Public servants will tell you that for the first time in years, Sherrod, they could qualify at banks for loans and for mortgages, because guess what? They no longer had to compete against an informal economy where, okay, this banner could send a girl with a bag of money and outbid them on a house, etc. Because we were taking steps to make sure that the formal economy was established and that it was greater than the informal economy. You have in Guyana where the informal economy outstripped the formal economy.
Yeah. That is where we are. And this has become now a government of coming soon. 40 houses in Linden coming soon. The optimal package for farmers coming soon. A race of public servants coming soon. The scholarships were supposed to be distributed and the promise, the goal, well, it's not a goal anymore. Was supposed to be given out in July, coming soon. Every flipping thing coming soon. And we tired.
I would hope, Sharon, that the Guyanese people understand that you do not have to put up with a government. You don't like what they're doing, vote them out at the end
Run
of their
them out
term.
of office, man.
We
Chase them out of
do
the
not
community.
have
Chase
to
them out.
put up with the government that is doing nonsense. We have to awaken to the fact that the power belongs to the people, and any
Very
government
well.
has to be
Very
held
well.
accountable, whether it's APNUASC or the PPP. Every government has to be held accountable to deliver a proper life to Guyanese. We fed up with them and this nonsense. We should not be
Yes.
running elections right now on who build road and who build water. What nonsense is that? What nonsense is
In
that?
the 21st century, that is the
And
measure
yes,
of a government.
yes,
Right? Who
yes.
gave less blackout
Instead
or who had
having,
more blackout?
can you imagine? Can you imagine? Man, look, Sharon, you're gonna make a want to fight here tonight. So let me calm down.
Well, I want to fight because in addition to the nonsense and the stupidness that is being done by this administration, I am with you, Amanza, that our supporters as well have a responsibility. And I said this early on. Too many people have been saying it because it has become easy for us to say when you are going on the ground, oh, the MPs are doing this, the MPs are doing that. And now we out there and with the bar John's there. That is what I wanted. I understand that there is a fear, right? But some of us alone can going forward. Listen to me. I keep telling them now, I'm watching at the shares on this live. People can't even share the live, right? And you all want to talk about confronting the PPP. And I'm talking about our supporters now, right? When you all are going out there, when you all are going out there, every Wednesday, this was the second Wednesday we were out there. Next week, Wednesday, you all have a chance to come out. When you all going out, we have to move beyond just coming and talking, and that is what we were endeavoring to do.
Absolutely.
Right?
Power concedes nothing.
Let me go to the square and fight.
My brother, power concedes nothing without a demand being placed on it. And Guyanese people must understand that to place a demand on power. You understand me?
Yes. And that is the problem. That is the problem we have. You have this high expectation, stratosphere, right? You know, we learned about clouds in geography, cumulus, and all the other kinds of clouds. We went beyond that. We are the edge of space with the expectation of the Granger government, and we do not have the same high expectation of the PP government, and that is what we put up with the nonsense that they're giving us. And we have to vote them out, as you said, run them out of office. That's what we got to do. And we got to move on.
No, we have to, because
down on the ground.
Listen, Sharon, they are masters at dividing and ruling. They are masters of making people that the APNUS and the coalition are an anti-Indian party, when the fact remains that we are the most diverse coalition possibly anywhere in the Caribbean region. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, their lies are going to be confronted and dismantled one by one, because this time in a long time, there's a generation now of people who decide that Guyana belongs to all of us, and we don't have to leave here to go and have a better life. We don't have to leave here to go and have a better life. And, you know, they have mastered the art of victimizing people and scaring people. Well, like, let me say, they can't fire all of we. They might fire Amanza and fire Sherrod, but they can't fire all of we because the country is going to shut down. And the minute people realize that there is power in unity, the PPP dance done.
Amanza, we are heading there very swiftly because things tight in this country. Chetram is a young man. He's a teen Why is Chetram in somebody's dog pen? Because things are tight. I saw a photograph on social media, a teenager stuck up somebody, they caught him, had him tied up. Teenagers, these are young people who are seeing no other way out. Things are tight. It's not that the mother got and said, I ain't giving you, I want you hungry, or the father got. Things are tight in this country, and we're seeing things we have not seen in the last 5 years. It's pocketory.
And the truth is, Sharon, their own supporters are suffering, and they don't want to say because they believe that they cannot speak up for
And you're
themselves. They are
absolutely
suffering.
right.
When we go into church, we walk the communities, and then it's come and say, "Oh, you listen, this thing bad, things not so bad." And the AP and UFC, at least everybody been get, and they would tell you, but we can't say nothing. Why
Yeah.
you can't say nothing? Why
And
is
that's
it you
what
believe that
the
you
farmers in
must be?
Cameroon did. Call me. They said, Duncan, the fertilizer gone up. Region 6 farmers, water still on the land. Nobody has come to tell us what we're getting, what relief, what subsidy we are getting. And so it's not just new AFC supporters. It is not just black people or Indian people. All we on the boat, all of us on the boat, right? And the thing is, this PPP boat, it doing 2 knots per hour. It ain't got no engine and no captain, and we out at sea. That
Yeah,
is the tragedy
and
that we have.
it is so ridiculous, the fake notions that are out there. But anybody, even Stevie Wonder, could see under the AP and UFC administration, you saw a return to proper governance, to accountability. Under the AP and UFC coalition, we achieved our highest rating for Transparency International
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
You understand? That
Well, the
says
trenches going to find out
something.
now. The trenches going to sign
Yes,
out now. The
that
Jagabans going to
says
sign out because they
something.
don't want to
That
hear that.
says something. You understand? Listen, you see, transparency and governance, they're important things. You remember we used to have something named post cabinet briefing.
Yes.
When last you hear one or see one?
Because Irfan cannot stand by himself without Jagdio and brief anybody on anything
But
comprehensively.
you remember Joe Harmon them used to stand up and
Yes.
copiously call out 5 contracts were awarded. This
Yes.
person got this amount because that is what you call
Yeah. Yeah.
transparency. So that people know. You remember the tender board used to publish the award of contracts, who get what contract and for how much. When last you see that? Because
Yeah.
the people are not interested in transparency. And so
Oh,
they're
it's just a word. It's just a
sleeping
word.
with one hand, Sherrod, and blinding their supporters with the other hand.
Yeah.
I see somebody said, you're peeing on the leg and telling you it's raining. That is what they're doing to their supporter.
And that is why you are absolutely right. We got to vote them out. And I say we got to run them out. Because this nonsense, we ain't having it. We ain't
We
having
need
it.
to
And
wait
again,
by Sherrod.
we got to
By
move
time that
past
half of we
the Facebook
might perish.
activism. We got to move past the Facebook. I see in 20-something hundred of us on this live. And by the time this live ends, we can get 14,000 views. But I ain't seen 400 at the square. And something is wrong with that. You understand me? We have allowed the people to curtail us, but then curtail some of we. You understand me? They're not going to curtail me. They are not going to curtail me. I rather die than live on my knees under the PPP. And the hundreds of us who come and view the live, I told you we got to move beyond this. We have to move beyond this. We come, we receive the information, we feel nice, and we gone. But there has to be lasting change. There got to be lasting change.
And lasting change begins with a movement. Lasting change begins with the people who said, listen to me, we had enough. We will not live like
Yeah,
beggars in our
yeah,
own
yeah.
country.
Man, what nonsense is happening in this country? And people are putting up with it. You have Charles Ramson, who is entitled bodyguard. He got a gun on an outreach. What the hell you expect? If people want to run away with the guns, it's because of the environment you all have created. You got another one, Rodriguez. She on an outreach on a beach in Leguan. She has a gun. Who are you training your gun at? And then you had this Jagabat over the weekend who shot A woman, and the police don't want to publish his name.
And
What kind
people
of country are we
believe,
living in, Sarah Lynch?
people believe that, and their supporters, some of them believe it's all fun and games, but I keep making this point. When you create a class that has, and you create a class of have-nots, you will create people with nothing to lose and people with everything to lose. And you are setting the sure foundation for a failed state. And the reality is, Sharon, that some of the PPP supporters picnic and no place to go.
Yep.
They have no place to go. And so when the cabal, when the going gets tough and they jump on the plane and go, it is them and the children that got to stay right here and
Yep.
punish.
Yep.
Right here and punish.
Frank Darted at Yale, Gail Cherin at Harvard, Jack, your nieces and nephew there at Stanford, and all over the place. But you and I here fighting for $19,000 cash grant. You understand me? Gail phone me was $2 million a month. You understand me? Some of them have come back not to work. They come for insurance and for medical insurance and those kinds of things. Roger Luncheon, what the hell Roger Luncheon is doing in the public sector? What the hell Barry Ramsaran can hardly stand up still doing in the public sector, and Barry and Ramsamy, and they're sick. In their minds and body, they are sick, and they have come to suck the taxpayers of this country dry. Because they know, Manza, that they cannot carry $19,000 even in a day at any one of the supermarkets. I don't even want to call their names. They cannot take $19,000 and survive.
Precisely. And Sharon, listen, you know what is more damning? We have a sovereign wealth fund that was set up by the Granger administration to make sure that the proceeds of Guyana's sale of the oil, that it went into a fund and it would not be squandered, and that Guyanese could have something to bet against in the future, so that if we faced any hardship, we would have money there. The PPP is borrowing against that money. You understand? So instead of making this money available to Guyanese who have been flooded out, because the act calls for a cross section of people to sit down to decide how you're going to spend the money, they don't want to activate it. So what they're doing, they're borrowing it.
Yeah.
So by the time our children turn around and ready for it, there is none. And then guess what now? We took the sovereign wealth fund model from Sweden or Norway, one of the two, which is the most advanced and the most recommended model for the sovereign wealth fund, because it really does ensure that all of Guyana would benefit from our oil wealth. The Jagabats want to change it to the Kazakhstan model.
Yeah.
With the president and the minister of finance as they say.
Corrupt people.
And they are willing to use their numbers in the National Assembly to make that a reality. And guess what? Their supporters are going to sit by mum and support it. And just like how many years later we have a failed white elephant at Skeldon, we are preparing for a lot more failed white elephants. But by then, these guys would have made off like bandits. And the same ones that talking, I said, a smack on your life tonight, is their children can be saddled with the repayment.
Well, Jack, you got a 10-acre property, Ocean View property at Pradoville too. And you and I still in Willoji. You understand me? You and I still in Willoji. And folks, I tell y'all, don't let jacket and tie fool y'all. Don't let me jacket and tie fool y'all. Things tight. You understand me? I come on here looking a certain way because I respect y'all and I presenting a quality professional program. But don't let me fool y'all. Things tight in this country. Things tight in this country.
It's bad. And then it's raised everywhere in the world. Yes, but other governments are taking measures to
Yeah,
make sure that their people
yeah,
don't need to
yeah,
punish unnecessarily.
yeah,
It is as if this government is bent on punishing
yeah,
people, particularly public servants. Particularly public servants, and then
yeah,
want to come to talk about foolishness about you against the cash grant. I say to
yeah.
everybody, make sure you in the front of the line to collect the cash grant. That is not PPPC money. It ain't PPPC money. It is
Exactly.
taxpayers' money. You know the irony of it? Taxpayers' money. What a taxing off of we salaries every month to give we back and can't give we an increase.
Yeah. Folks, those of you who are watching, as we're discussing and as we're wrapping up, I look at that share on the live, wherever you're viewing the live from, especially those of you who viewing the live on Facebook. And I want you guys to share that live stream so the wider world can hear and see what is happening in this country. It is not enough for us to just come and discuss these issues. You all feel nice. We fight on social media and then we leave it there. And that is why next Wednesday is boots on the ground again at the Square of the Revolution. Final thoughts, Amanza. I've kept you long beyond the time I've asked you for.
Sharon, we're gonna be out there. Listen, we just fed up of them now, man.
Yeah.
We tired of them. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Guyanese deserve better. We deserve much more. And we have to come together. The PPP cannot, they're gonna try to pick we off one by one by one. But together and united, we are unstoppable. They can't stop us. They will be forced to bring change about when we demand change, when we
Yeah.
demand change. Our children deserve better. We live in a land with all of these natural resources. They're pumping $9 million worth of oil every how many hours out of our exclusive economic zone. And you're telling me what? That we got to be wondering about
And
if we
Amanza,
could get blackouts now
I
or we
do
can
not
get water
feel
now. What?
I do not feel as though I'm a citizen in an oil producing republic. I don't feel it. I know they're pumping oil somewhere out there, but I don't feel it. I don't. Right? And that is why I agree with you. We have to demand more. That's what we're saying to each and every one of you who are watching us out there. Share the live stream. Amber Tone and Hazelin King, Freddie Jackson, Andre Boston, the hundreds of you who are still watching us past our program time. We are happy that you see value in the program, but we want more, a little more out of you. Wednesdays, 1 hour. We ain't saying every week for 8 hours. We ain't saying lock down the government yet, the installed administration, but 1 hour. Let us start signaling to them. Strangely enough, protest is the only thing these Jacobins understand. When the people of Region 6 started to protest over the flood and so on, the media quick. When the sugar workers the other day started to protest, they get their money quick. That's the only language these Jacobins understand because they're ignorant.
And you know
and
what struck
to them
me,
in their language.
you know what struck me, Sharon, today? To me, like they send a policeman for every one of us out there today.
Oh, yes.
You know, it is just so sickening to see. And they're trying their level best to demoralize the police force.
Mm-hmm.
Demoralize the police force, giving and issuing unlawful instructions and all of that to police. We are heading down a road, Sharon. If we do not stop it, our children will never forgive us.
Yes.
There is enough for everybody. Why is it that you have to oppress a man? I could live with a system that allows everybody to apply themselves and to work. And if you fail, it's because you're lazy and you refuse to apply yourself. I cannot live with a system where people of a certain ethnicity or political persuasion, they are oppressed. That is not right. If people fail, it must be because of a lack of their own effort, not because the system is stacked against them. And we cannot sit down and allow Guyana to continue to grow in this manner. Who do these people think they are? Who do they think they are? You understand?
There's a maxim that says the rising tide must float all boats, but only some boats floating.
Yeah, but the
Only some boats
PPP making sure that the borehole in other people's
yes,
boats so it sinks
because
and
the
don't
wicked, the
float. And
stink,
I
and
got
the
a problem
dirty.
now.
That is why. The wicked, the stink, and the dirty. Amanza, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there. Any closing thoughts?
No, Sharon, just to say to our guy, these people, enough is enough.
Enough is
Enough is
enough.
enough.
Enough
Raise
is
your
enough.
voices. The international community is looking on and they're looking to see whether the Guyanese people will listen. The overseas people, the foreign people, ain't gonna come and save us. The most that they could do is support our fight. But we have to fight for our freedom
Yeah,
here in Guyana.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody's coming on a white horse to save us and charging in like a knight in shining armor.
yeah,
We are our own knights in shining armor. We had
yeah,
better start
yeah,
understanding that
yeah,
our salvation here in this here situation is up to us. We can pray, yes, but prayer without works is dead. So don't come and tell me about we can trust
amen,
God and whatever. You
amen,
understand what I'm saying? Trust God, but put your shoulders to the wheel, put your hands to the plow, and let's get this country in the
yeah,
path that it has to go.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Now you gonna make I want to fight all over again and we gotta go.
Let's fight. Let's fight, folks. Thanks for joining us, Amanza, and walking us through and guiding us through these very many issues. Some very heavy ones that aren't easy at all, folks. Thanks for joining us this evening, and guys, see it as a duty when you come on to share the live stream wherever you guys are joining us from. See it as a duty to share the live stream. You are very welcome to follow me on Instagram. It's Shara Duncan. On Twitter, it's Shara Duncan. On YouTube, it's Shara Duncan. Share the live stream, especially if you're joining us on Facebook. Our friends on Twitter as well. If you can take the link from YouTube and share it on WhatsApp or even the Facebook link, we'd be very happy, guys. It is not enough that we alone benefit from the information we share here. We want as many persons, not only in Guyana, but internationally, to hear what we're saying and hear what is happening in Guyana and how all of us are involved and how all of us are consumed. Mahatma Gandhi said it best. Let the change you want to see in the world begin with you. See you tomorrow night and plan to be at the Square of the Revolution for 1 hour every Wednesday. See you tomorrow evening, guys. Stay safe. Sanitize, social distance, wear your mask. Practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are out there for your health and your safety, that of your friends and your loved ones. And as we go, folks, a word from our sponsors.
Planning to buy or build your dream home or even get that dream vehicle? Are you a member of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union? Well, the wait is over. They're affording their members the opportunity to secure residential mortgages up to $15 million, starting at a matchless interest of 3.5% per annum, and vehicle loans up to $5 million at 1% at the reducing balance. Don't be stuck in that waiting position. Call them on telephone numbers 225-7876, visit their website at MyGPSCCU, or their Facebook page at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Your wait is over.
And that's it, guys. That's it. As you go, share the live stream. If you're coming back to view us, share the live stream. Those of you joining us on YouTube, thanks for joining us there in the suburbs. Those of you who joined us on Twitter, thanks for joining us there as well. Guys, it's our privilege every evening to come and share the kind of information that we do with you guys. Our privilege to have you. We don't take that responsibility lightly at all. Share the live stream. If you are still watching us and you haven't had a chance to do so as yet, you will touch our heart in a remarkable way if you do that little favor for us. Share the live stream. Do stay safe. Beat out.